What's going on, everybody? It is a nice Friday afternoon. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around, and we are doing I like to call it a lunch break live stream of a version of Dope or Nope. I'm here today with my good friend Jason Lapidus, a comic book artist, um, toy collector. I like to say I was saying on the live earlier on Instagram, like you're a comic book historian almost, just because you know older comics. That's all. What's up, Jason?
Not much, man. How are you doing?
We're good. We're here today as we the chat is also to talk about the the big reveal from the Hasbro Marvel Legends team just moments ago, about the new Haslab reveal, right?
Yeah,
This is something that they've been teasing for a while. People have been speculating. They've been dropping not so subtle hints about what what it is. And I think this is right in your wheelhouse. And we've done this dope or note before, but this I think is a you know I think it's really exciting for you. So I'd like to hear from you. So again, if you're watching live right now or watching the replay, you can comment in the live chat or in the video comments if you think this HasLab reveal is dope or nope. Um, there's a couple people in the chat. Thank you so much. I know it's the middle of the day. It's not the best time, but it's live now. We get to talk about it. We have Uncanny Sculpts, Win or Lose, Stream Elements, Carrie Fancy, High School Creations. Things were still on from last night. That's right, Mike. You left, and Enablers turned from 5 Asians to just me and Jason. It's Deep Lake. Well, 1.5. You're honorary. Deep Lake Makes says I backed 5. High School Creations.
keep reading. Keep reading.
Oh no, D Turtle's here. Matthew Toy just woke up. What's going on? DK, what's up, man? Good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out last night. Havoc Dog, Mr. Ryan Clark. I'm gonna get to the comments after. Pack photos. Darth Clueless. All right. We don't. There's no element of surprise here. Like we know what it is.
What I mean is, you got to keep reading D. Blake's comments.
His next comment.
He's joking. He or she. I don't know D. Blake.
Yeah, he's a he.
Okay.
But he's 4 figures tall and 3 figures wide. So you're looking at 12 figures That's good maths. That's good maths. I've never broken it down as individual parts. I guess like a Build-A-Figure or some sort of
Sure.
Voltron-like thing where each piece, each limb is its own entity. But hey,
So D. Blake says the part you missed. He says, LOL, just kidding. This is a pass for me. The price is 100% on point, though, in my opinion.
that makes sense.
So not 5, just a straight up pass.
This is the Enabler stream from last night. I am so tired. They revealed the HasLab is Giant Man. How do we feel, Jason?
Dope.
Is this something that you've been lacking in your collection? Do you have the Toy Biz?
I was lucky enough to have the Toy Biz. I bought it maybe about 8 years ago off of a friend who was selling his. And so I've got it, and it fits in the space of my shelf because he's a little bit smaller and he's crouched over.
Okay.
But this is right in my wheelhouse of loving things that come from the hand of Jack Kirby. And although, yeah, like the costume is that era, and there are many like little variations because Kirby often didn't keep the suit the same issue to issue. Sometimes the boot cut is straight across. Sometimes it's the jagged edge. Sometimes there are like 2 lines on each side of the harness suspenders type thing. Sometimes it's this nice V/Y shape. So it changes regularly, right. But it is evoking, right, that early mid-60s Giant Man, like issue 2, kind of Avengers. And so I'm all in for that. I like, if it's Ditko and Kirby, I'm kind of into the things that come from their hands. So this is a dope for me for sure.
That's awesome. How I want to ask, how much did you pay for that Toy Biz Giant Man?
I bought like a bundle.
Your wife's not watching. It's fine. And it's years ago. There's a statute of limitations on that.
I somewhere between 50 and 100. I don't remember exactly what the number was. But a friend of mine was selling off almost, most of his Marvel Legends, and I couldn't pass the chance to have a Giant Man, in my collection.
Right. Yeah. And this Build-A-Figure, I mean, was one of those where they really broke it down. Like you got a foot. It wasn't just a leg that you would get as a Build-A-Figure piece, right? It would be a foot, and then not your classic 5
Right. 5 or
piece.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one was. Did it have the variations back then? Because you know how Apocalypse had like a blue variant and a black variant of this.
The depth of my research into Marvel Legends does not go into the toy biz. Like, I don't want to know which figures came with which pieces. Like,
Right.
it's too much. I wasn't
I just don't
collecting.
know if there was a variant, a color variant for this.
Oh, I see what you're
Back
saying.
then. Yeah.
I don't think so, but then again, I can't imagine what it would be other than like additional parts.
Right.
Um,
Okay, maybe it was just the Apocalypse that I'm thinking of. But hey, here's your chance to get it now. Um, the price is $199.99 American. So what's 30-ish% of that? 260?
sure.
I don't know.
That sounds like right on 30%.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going with a modest 30%. The Canadian dollar is probably crappier than that. So this thing stands. Oh, this is the wrong button.
Yeah, 24 inches, right?
24 inches tall, and there he is next to the I think that's the 20th anniversary cap without the straps.
Yeah.
Marvel Legends 20th one.
You know what? That is the 20th, but he should have straps.
Right, without this. Yeah.
He's not wearing the straps. He's like right there somewhere.
I also like the graphics today. They had actually the silhouettes were moving in the background too. If you saw,
Yeah.
he was moving. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Oh, had a great streak, man. Congratulations. He did better math with the breakdown of the finger joints than I did, trying to figure out 30% on 260. Nasser is here. I might need a Borat head for a repaint. Oh, because of the V thing. It's an interesting take on that part of we'll get to that. So you see here all of those crazy parts of the fingers and hands.
Yeah.
Everyone was already doing gang signs with Galactus. This will be no difference.
Giant Man has more finger articulation than I do. So
Than you do.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard some of your joints crack just now.
Oh yeah. I got all sorts of things going on there. Was Ryan's joke that you and I went to lunch with Galactus?
Yes.
And so yeah, we went to a deli in the neighborhood.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I guess
and
we'll
I
have
brought
to
Big G as a guest. I asked for a table for 3.
So next year we'll bring the kids out.
And it's a
bring
lunchtime
Giant
stream,
Man.
so we should have been in the diner.
True.
Yes,
I'll
that
bring
also.
Giant Man, you bring Galactus, and we'll take them out for lunch.
I think one of the things they did on this is super cool. I recently saw it on like the Jack's Pacific. It sounds like I'm saying Jack's Pacific, but it's Jack's Pacific. They make the Mario movie figures, and it's like the clear glass or the clear plastic ball for the eye, and then you have the details on the back, and it has this thing. It kind of has this effect where it looks more realistic, and it's like it's following you almost. And I think that's good
Right.
when you have a figure at this size. It's not just the regular painted on eyes. In your experience, what faceplate best fits this Giant Man and that
So
character
I do find the removed isolated faceplates to be disturbing.
without the mask covering?
Yeah,
But that's his
definitely.
regular face, isn't it?
Well,
One would
this is
presume.
an interesting thing. Like, let's just make this, because that's my mindset. This is a drawing thing. When you, let's say, draw any comic book character, I guess we'll keep this on brand, and they're in their mask. When you
Mhm.
remove their mask, they don't look the same. Like you have to do some calculation changes to make a face look cool in a mask and a face look cool unmasked.
Right.
These literally have to be the same shape. So the smiling face, if that was a real person, that's a disturbing face.
What do you mean? That's how I smile.
That is, yeah, and you're a disturbing face.
Oh, thanks.
So I do find them when they're exposed to be. I don't want to look at them; they bother
Right.
me. But inside the mask, I think they will all look great.
I think it works because there's no way to display it outside of the mask. So
You
it's
frame them,
yeah.
like shadow box and frame them on the wall.
No, it's cool. It's a cool concept to
It's
have
great.
swappable faceplates,
Totally, totally.
especially when most of the rest of the head, if not the rest, all of it remains the same. There's texture throughout the whole costume.
Yeah, the textures look awesome. The seams and like the fake stitching looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did I move ahead too fast? Okay. Tier one unlock. We'll get tier one unlock is the zombie faceplate. So I'm assuming the whole front comes off. You put this on. You get the warped antenna on the front.
yeah, it's fun.
Um, this was one of the things that I was expecting because I'm like, what else? If you don't add figures as
Right,
tiers, what would you add on to the character? You can't just change the look of a mask or a helmet without changing the whole costume. So what can you really
right,
do? Um, and I think those spin-off comics like Marvel Zombies or Deadpool kills the Marvel zombie
right.
universe or things like that. This is a cool look for me.
I think it's a great idea because people love it, and it fits all the criteria of like something that is possible to do and something that is really fun to look at too.
Mhm.
They're really cool. I'm a fan. I would like for me, I'm never displaying it with
Right,
that
right,
because
right,
that's
right.
just not my bag. But I'm glad that someone's going to be really happy with it. I think it looks really cool. Yeah.
Uh,
So can we talk about the philosophy, like as they called it a strategy, or Ryan called it a strategy, of having modifications to the heads or to the character as opposed to doing figures. I like to me it was a no-brainer that there would be a 6-inch scale giant man. Like that was
mhm.
and I have to admit, like I still want that. So if they sell it separately, I'm buying it. If it's like an add-on or another figure down the line, I want to have them together. Like I love the transformation is like a huge fun thing for me in
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
imagination, right? The kid in me wants to always have the character grow and shrink. So I'd want to play with that. And then an unmasked head.
So at the moment, as it stands, is
Right.
there a 6-inch version of this costume
No.
where he hasn't embiggened?
Thank you for that. No, there isn't a 6-inch of this costume. There's a modern 6-inch that
Right.
came out, and someone in the chat will remember which wave it was. It was around the time of one of the, I think, the first Ant-Man movie, um, and and there is like a larger version of it that came, I think, in the Marvel Universe line.
Mhm.
And people have been displaying it of late. Like you'll see it around. So there's that, and he's on the Bucky Cat body, and it's fine, right? It's a figure that is essentially like the Naked Buck, just painted with the features, and the head has the Giant Man features. Um,
So this would be before when he's wearing this costume, but before he grows to full size, obviously. That's what the 6-inch version of
that's
you're
what I
looking
would
for
want.
is. Right. Not like Ant-Man as Ant-Man, Ant-Man.
No, because it's too different. He doesn't in the comics. He doesn't. It's strange. It was like I don't know why they didn't think of this back then, and let's blame Kirby and Lee for this fun thing. Like they didn't have him being size changing hero. He was Ant Man, and then like he comes, he does in Tales to Astonish. He's Ant Man for a little while. Then they joins the Avengers. By issue 2, he's now Giant Man.
Hmm.
He's not ever Ant Man and Giant Man like he is in the movie, which is great. Like I love the idea that he just switches it up. And there is a single issue drawn by Bruce Timm from the Batman animated series, which
Yes.
is called Avengers 1.5. And it's just like a one shot. And in that, the Avengers fight Doom. And that's in like they fill in the gap where Hank Pym decides to like, oh, I'm just going to take off the Ant-Man helmet, put it here, and like, I'm going to try my new thing. And he tries to
Okay.
be Giant Man. And it's awesome. Like, it's a really fun power set to be able to do both. So there isn't, but I guess now in my head canon, why not? Like I want that version of Hank Pym where he does both.
So I'm sure you recall the Engine of Vengeance from last year.
Of course.
I don't know if that was really your thing, but a lot of the gripes for that was it was a really high price point. So I'm
Right.
certain that at a next attempt at a Haslab pricing the price point and the effect of the consumer for that is really, on the forefront and kind of really influencing the final offering, right?
For
So
sure.
the inclusion of, or maybe exclusion, oh, sorry, exclusion of 6-inch figures to go with this, I think that's got to be part of the um the strategy of keeping the price point, right?
Yeah, I agree
That's
with you.
what I
They
have to think.
they need a win,
Hmm.
right? They need a win, and this figure is cut. I mean, he's a no-brainer. Like, he fits in a collection really nicely. He's a classic character. It's the right anniversary for it. All those pieces. So I get the idea, from their point of view of not having the 6-inch figures in it. And like Ryan said, and that's a strategy. There isn't a right or wrong. You try different things, see what works.
Yeah.
And we regularly buy 6-inch figures, so why not just put them down the line? People want like a classic Wasp.
Yes.
So
There was a lot of comments
right?
looking for a wasp in there.
But there are people who want the Wasp who wouldn't drop the $200 US
Hmm.
to get the Giant Man. They'd be happy with the Ant Man they already have to pair with her. So I get it, how that's going to be something. I mean, we're 100% going to get the Wasp in the corresponding costume. She wears like a blue, black, and red one in that time period too, and has this really fun, like, I guess it's the Wasp's stinger. Like, it's the head is the shape of the Wasp's butt,
Oh, okay.
and that's the look of her
And this was by
her
design
headpiece.
that they said, we're gonna
Right,
switch it. Gonna go
right.
head first.
So, though, I'm sure that figure will come out maybe on a retro card, maybe another, what do they call them, programs, maybe a different program next year.
Right.
But we'll get that figure down the road. So I do want it, obviously. And if this figure gets in hand in 12 months, like, for all we know, that figure, the Wasp one, will be there too, and no problem. But it
Mhm.
is both. Yeah, I want the 6-inch, obviously, Giant Man, and and a era appropriate Wasp to go with it.
Right. And yeah, Ryan did mention, instead of having new figures that you wanted kind of locked behind tiers of a
Right.
Haslab, not only do you have to back it, but also, it has to reach that goal in order for you to get it. I think this kind of kills two birds with one stone. Like, you keep the price point, because
Yeah.
this is two. Keep in mind, if you're not Star Wars fans, um, there was a Star Wars Haslab that just ended 2 days ago for $4.99. So if you're a collector who is like me, is into both worlds, I'm it's four ninety nine US is a decent amount of money, uh, right?
Yes, yes.
Especially after you convert it to Canadian. So um, this is a good relief in the sense that, like, I'm not the person that has to get everything that's put out there. But if you were interested in it, like, I think this is a good break for your wallet. If you're interested, you're like, oh, I don't want to miss a Star Wars and a Marvel Haslab at the same time. But this, I think, on the heels of a $500 Ghost ship, um, it's it's not a bad strategy. And if there are the classic look figures coming down the line that pair with this, there's your option there to get them. I like that all the program, the Avengers 60th, that's been coming out, all the 2 packs and those figures have been built leading up to this. So it's like, it's all complementary, right?
It is. It is. And K-Monger in the chat is talking about a box set of original, like, Avengers lineup that will come out next year. And I'm not sure if that's just like a rumor or if that's been teased anywhere.
Hmm.
Um, but all the pieces are in place. Like, they've got all the molds already made. Like, you've already got your Thor done. It would just be another re-release, I guess, maybe with brighter this or not brighter that, like brighter blue and brighter red. And then a gold version of that Mark One Iron Man. Like, that's
Yes.
easy peasy. Those things are already there. So, um, yeah, and then maybe they actually did release in the Toy Biz days a Kirby-esque Hulk. Like, back when, just to talk, when Kirby drew Hulk and the Avengers together, Hulk isn't taller, and, like, Thing isn't taller than the other members of their respective teams. They're
Hmm.
just built wide. They're both really wide dudes. And so there is a very Kirby-esque, not shredded muscle version of the Hulk that they
Right.
released, a gray version and a green version way back when. And I have that with my old Avengers. And like it looks really good, like that really squared flat head and that just ugly mug on him on Hulk.
Yes,
And I
yeah, I think
wonder if they would ever give us a little bit more of that. Because this Hulk looks to me like a modern set of muscles and like a really detailed, which is really cool for your collection or for my
like a
collection
towering
too.
Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
for the chat and to you, what was your impression when you first? Obviously, when you find out it's Giant Man, you're like, oh, cool, it's that character. You see what it looks like, but here next to other members of the team, in front of two human beings, like two 1-to-1 scale human beings.
Quote human beings.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're human beings.
I'm just
I've met
joking.
them in real life.
I know.
They're
I'm
not
just
they're not
kidding.
LMDs. They're not life model decoys. What was your first impression, Jason, and the chat too?
Just straight up that it looks great. But my first impression was that his boots have the jagged edge as opposed to the straight, so it's different than the Build-A-Figure from years back.
Okay, you're right, because that
Um,
one had the flat uh,
yeah,
top of the boot, which was where the break was when you bought the different Build-A-Figure piece.
yes, and I love his proportions. He looks like the mold of the regular Marvel Legends these days. He's in that same style. I really do find that there's a unified look of the line, which
Hmm.
I appreciate. They look like they belong together, and no, I think he looks fantastic. It's what I would have hoped for that figure specifically. Yeah, looks really good. What about you? What was your first impression?
I mean, it's a hefty, tall figure. It's another
Right.
one that you know someone asked earlier, would anyone even want a 6-inch tall giant man pre embiggened?
Right.
And I'm sure there's somebody out there who wants just the power, not powered down, but like just the
Sure.
not in the middle of a fight look for the
Well,
team, for it to
think about
serve.
how many collectors and toy photographers have posted their image of him in transition. They get all the variations and they do this like bup, 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 right? They
Is that the
People love
sound?
to do that. That is the sound.
It's like
Uh,
that's the when you toot in a bubble bath. Same sound
that's
effect.
when you turn a bath into a bubble bath.
Oh,
So I see a lot of people do that. I love to have my regular size figure with the minis as well,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the shrunken down ones. So I would imagine the logic is the same, like how you want to have a 6-inch version of Ant-Man and you want to have the mini Ant-Man.
Mhm.
You put them together, and people often even display them with their Marvel Universe figure, which is a 3 3/4 scale, right?
Right. That's
So
that's a character where you can blend the scales and kind
yeah,
of kind of make up your story there. You mentioned
yeah,
earlier when we were on the topic of the first faceplate, the zombies. It's a cool add-on, but for your collecting, and I'm sure for a general part of fans who back this, it's like they're gonna pose it with the classic, with the regular uh giant man. But I think this is for someone who has the other zombies, who they showed one of the photos doing some toy photography or building a certain look that they want for that, or even with the Skrulls too, which I think it's a really cool, it's a really cool add-on. Again, I don't know exactly how much this stuff costs, but I would assume if you want to add 6-inch figures to go with it, the price also goes up with it
for
that you're
sure.
buying it at. So, you know, do you want, obviously, the ideal world is give me as much figures as you can with as little money as possible. Uh, but again, this is a business, guys. They're making toys to make money, but they're making toys hopefully that people like, or else it's not going to sell. So that's the goal, right? Um,
Yes, and then if you're really really bold, you start customizing it too.
right.
You dirty up the costume. Maybe you d- even go so bold as to wreck part of it, and maybe do some sculpting of it, like decayed parts. You could
Yeah.
have you
I
could
think
have fun
someone
with it that
mentioned
way.
maybe like zombie hands,
Sure.
but I
Sure.
think the faceplate, they already have a mechanism where the whole front piece comes off, so there isn't more engineering in that. Uh, Dwight mentioned there isn't a articulation in the wrist where the glove is because it's that jagged pattern
Mm,
versus the a regular straight cut. Maybe that factors into whether or not you can put in extra hands, or maybe it's a swappable hand from the wrist. I don't know, but
right.
you're right. That would add to the look. Again, adding more adds more to your
That's
total.
right.
So what?
Everything you add makes the total go up, and I get it. And if I'm gonna get like, let's just consider this maybe like a base figure, like
Yeah.
it's as manageable as they can get it while still turning the profit they need to turn. Yeah, 200's not outrageous to me for the product we're getting, considering how much the Sentinel was and how much Galactus was. How
Mhm.
tall is Galactus again, by the way?
I don't know. You saw him at the diner.
I
He's 34, 32. I
So
don't
I'm
remember.
glad he's bigger. Like he should, to me, he should still always be the biggest, you know?
He remains the
Um,
largest. Should I?
I'm all down with that. And they're okay. Yes, you've got a tape measure. We're very impressed.
Oh yeah, no. This is for Jason S in the chat says 32 inches.
Right. I think that's great. And I like the Marvel, the MCU giant man, is rinky dink. And he's always felt undersized. The Baff from um, the Toy Biz days is pretty good, and
Mhm.
this is great.
Yeah,
This is really a big improvement, and it's manageable. Look at, oh my god,
yeah. So
Dude,
apparently at each
whew,
knuckle, as
yeah,
well as what's the term of ab crunch, but for knuckles, the abs of the knuckles.
it looks like
Um,
almost like butterfly in the thumb. I mean, that's amazing. That
yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah.
really
This
cool.
this rotation, right?
Do you know what I actually would like though, and sort of be unhappy with things? I would like change out fists that don't articulate. Because just when this goes
Mm.
into fist, it's never as tight as what his actual
Like a
punching fist would
sculpted,
really be.
locked in fist would look.
Yeah, the bones move and the hand transforms a little bit when you put into a good fist, and the gaps between the fingers is down to nothing, and this will never get a really good balled up fist. So I would love change out ones so I can have him really punching whoever it is in the face or wherever,
Mhm.
But these are like very minor things. None of this detracts from the fact that I want it and that I don't think it's out of my range. I'm willing to drop the
This
money for that.
this is going to be your first Haslab?
Haslab, yeah, I like all of them. Each one seems appealing. And the Star Wars ones really they kill me because I love Star Wars vehicles. They're just
Yeah.
so fantastic. But you know, there already is space for a giant man in my collection. Like there already is a spot for him, and so I would basically be swapping out. And it's not unreasonable for me to do that. And the price point's low
Okay.
comparatively, right?
Yeah, that definitely has to be
Yeah, for me,
major.
it's a big consideration.
Yeah,
I
major
won't
factor.
I won't get $500 worth of joy out of it. I'll get $200 worth of joy out of it. So
Right.
yeah, yeah,
So this being priced lower, it kind of speaks to you passing on Sentinel or Galactus. It's like those
yeah,
those were priced higher up. It had more figures that it came with, but this makes it. I guess it reaches a different group in terms of price range who think, at least it's a good thing. It's not like not every HasLab has to be $500
right,
like that.
right. It
Yeah,
definitely does include more people as like potential, but then depending what sphere of the Marvel universe you target,
yeah,
whether it's something cosmic or something mutant or something classic in 60s, like you're sometimes going to lose some people on one side and gain people on another. But bringing the price down on any of them is going to obviously include a wider swath of buyers. So
I
I think
think
that's a good thing.
anything you put out there is going to invite opinions, positive and negative. Even like bringing the price of toys down, it'll be like it's not low enough. Or you could give away free toy, and there'll be someone who will complain like, why are you giving out free toys and wasting plastic for the environment?" There's always going to be a negative and a positive, and that's fine. I'm not trying to, we don't have to change anyone's mind. We respect everyone's, like Havoc Dog in the chat. I see your comments. Like, I absolutely agree. Uh, Criticism, I would say criticism is a way to change things. Complaining, there's a certain connotation to that, but I get it, and I think they kind of acknowledge that in the chat too. Like, they've learned from the last project, right? I'm just, and what I appreciate about people who come to this channel in the chat is like people are respectful at at how they go about it.
I don't agree with you. I agree with you about the nuance difference between the terminology, but that's
Okay.
semantics. I
Yes.
don't agree with the idea that they changed the Ghost Rider because people criticized or complained. They changed because they didn't get enough backers.
Right.
That you create change by voting with your dollars. That's
But
it.
do you think they change it? They change it because it wasn't successful,
Right.
but there has to be a strategy of what changes do I make? And
So that's
it
where
can't just be dollars, right? It's
right.
like what were some of the reasons that it failed?
Right. And trying to figure out the reasons is is important, and they
Mhm.
also have their own common sense. Like they're also fans, and they're also, or at least some of them are, um, and they're also professionals, and like this is their job, is to figure out why things don't work.
Right.
And for most, I think any professional, whenever you see complaining or like illogical criticism, you just put it in the category of this isn't helping.
Right.
I'm
For
actually
sure.
not going to. This is toxic. I'm not actually reading this. And you're looking for some concrete evidence that helps support moving forward, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the difference
Yeah,
between complaining and is
but
criticism.
criticism can sometimes be illogical.
Okay, fair. Constructive
So
criticism.
you're looking,
All
and
right.
also you're looking something based on facts, and they also know what their limitations of the product line. They know those limitations. They know what they are,
Mhm.
and they especially on design side, you have to be very grounded in the reality of making these things viable, and knowing like we can't do everything to turn this into a real live giant man. This has to stay within the realm of the action figure line and the quality of the materials we have and the tooling that we have available and the timeline we have to do, right? So in the triangle of service, you know about that?
No.
Oh, the triangle, it's this concept. It's very like, nicely thought out. It's there's fast, there's cheap, and there's quality.
Mm.
And
Okay.
you can only get two. You can't get three. So if you want this fast and
Right.
cheap, it's not going to be done well.
Right.
And I think you understand the rest of it.
Yeah.
So
We don't need to
they
go through it all.
understand that
Yeah.
they can only do so much of those pieces in the triangle, and they have to concede on certain areas. This isn't going to be a real live giant man. They have to concede the quality to a certain point where
Yeah.
it's viable to do. And so they've been improving the quality ever since I started collecting. They've been getting better every year. The figures have improved. I look at the line or the wave I jumped in on, I think, where I was collecting everything, might have been Age of Ultron. So that's what, 2012. Maybe the figures are coming out just before that in 2011, like right around that time. I
Mhm.
was getting on board, and from obviously just the silhouettes of the figures have gotten better. They're cut, like they just all look better.
Yeah. Proportions and everything.
Um, so they're figuring it all out, and us not backing the Ghost Rider thing, it spoke volumes. It didn't work.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think, yeah, there's definitely, they took notes from that. So 12,000 for Zombie, which I do really like. I think Diamond Diamond did a series of Marvel zombie figures. I think Legends ever did them, but Diamond selected a bunch, and I've always wanted a set of those. But this would fit in if you have them and you have the desire to build that team. 14,000. Am I pressing the wrong button? Here we go. You have the yeah, if you didn't know, until October 23rd, midnight. 14,000. The Skrull faceplate, 2,000. Difference of 2,000 each time. Real quick, Kayla's here in the chat. How's it going? Thanks for watching, as always. Win or Lose, what's going on? Says this project is way less ambitious than the Sentinel and Galactus. Just a bit higher level offering that would not make it to retail. I think that's the point, right? It's like, I think we chatted about last night on Enablers. Does this stuff fit and take up space on a retailer's shelf? You're absolutely right. It's not as ambitious in the sense of what's being offered and also the price point, for sure. Galactus Sentinel came with what, 2 additional figures? 3? Sentinel came with 2. So you're absolutely right on that sense.
But also, like, the tooling, like the sculpting on the figure and the paint applications seem a little simpler,
less intricate than a Galactus or
like making Galactus seems like an incredibly ambitious project.
Yeah.
To make that thing actually have joints while keeping the design, it's complicated to do. This one seems like an easier project for the team, and by not saying it's easy to make, just easier than Galactus.
Right. Just like design wise, the look, it's a simpler looking costume.
Yes.
I get you. John to the Ross says, I like that they didn't include additional figures because we may never see the figure if it's not funded, like Mephisto or Goblin Queen, I think was one of the other offerings.
Right.
The figure itself is fine. I would probably be in if it was $50 cheaper. That's fair. It's the price is it's dependent on each person.
There's a question from Havoc Dog about, was this costume used when the Skrull story happened? So with the Secret Invasion, pulled characters, from different times that had been, had basically was saying in the past characters got swapped for Skrulls.
Right.
And was this the one that he was wearing if he was switched? So if memory serves, it was characters in the 70s that were swapped out, not in the 60s. But I'm trying to remember. I can picture some of those panels when they're in like the jungle, figuring out who all the Skrulls are.
Yeah. They're pointing like the Spider-Man meme back at each other.
I don't remember. I mean, Hank Pym would not have been wearing this costume in the 70s, Marvel Comics.
Right.
Like Carol Danvers wasn't even a character when he wore this, and she's part of that,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it was, but maybe they were saying that he was a Skrull earlier. I don't know. I haven't gone to search for those comics. They're in a bin or in a.
That's a good question. Box. I think there will definitely be fans who are like, this isn't the same costume.
Sure.
For me, as a more casual comics person, the concept of a Skrull alien version of the heroes that we know is really cool to me. Again, they had this as a Marvel Universe Skrull giant man that I've been wanting to get from. I don't know. I think I wanted to get it from Mario, and then Jason Lowe had it at our toy tailgate, and I still passed on it. But I think this kind of hits both notes for me.
Sure.
So I'm willing to, I'm not that I'm willing. I don't know better if it's the right or wrong costume. It's the concept to go with the Skrull storyline is cool for me.
I'm looking at the art now. Like I just typed in a couple good prompt words to get all the art by Lionel Francis Yu. And yeah, Hank Pym is not in any kind of giant man garb. I actually haven't spotted him yet. I would imagine he'd be Yellow Jacket at the time. If he was anything. And of course, he could, like, the characters that come out of the ship. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Hank is not one of them. It's
so
like yeah.
The ones that came off of the ship were the
Skrulls. Were the Skrulls, right?
I think that was the the switch in the story. Anyway, go read it. I like that storyline. It's cool. Look at the detail on this. Even if you don't display it with this head, like just have it off to the side in like a toy shot of someone just killing Marvel zombies and having this on the ground or something. This was this is really nicely detailed. Again, this has those plastic eyes too.
Right. They look incredible.
Yeah, you know what? The zombie cap is probably one of my favorite Marvel Legends ever because of how much zombie damage they put into it. It's there's like parts where you can see through bone and muscle and stuff and tissue. I was really impressed with that, and I think they went all out on that one. I wanted to see more damage on the Iron Man, but he's wearing a full suit of armor. I'm not mad at that.
No, it's good. It's good not to be mad at it.
Yeah,
That's good. It
it's
really, that the cap is like a crown jewel of Marvel Legends making. Like,
yeah, design, man.
that they loved making that thing.
Yeah, you have to. Thunderhouse Design says $50 cheaper or with an additional figure. Wasp, I would have likely been in, but I'm not a huge Avengers fan anyway. Hope this succeeds for those who want it. Yeah, hey, I respect that
Yeah.
that take on it. There are people who like this. You can just be happy for them, and if you don't like it, if you're not a hardcore Avengers fan like me, it's like you don't have to get these. You don't. There's no gun to your head to buy these, but obviously, if you're a fan of it or you want to, add it to your collection, I think this looks really. Look at the damage on his nose here.
In a nostril.
This is too
It's
close.
so gross.
Did it get bitten off, or did zombie Pym pick it too hard?
Yes.
That's got to
Yeah.
be it.
It got punched off. Just decayed, rotting flesh.
There you go.
Yeah. This is a weird looking photograph to me just because they're not kind of grounded in anything. I know that Wanda is supposed to be floating,
Right.
especially with that hairdo. But I would,
Those
Cap off to the
fingers.
side. But Cap might be the best one, right?
I would have put
So
Cap right here.
Yeah,
kind of
I'd have him
just
front center too.
Yeah, just because of how much I love that figure.
Sure.
Skrullhead. Here's a render.
It looks great.
Yeah, and it's got, look at those eyes too.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has the same kind of clear plastic. Oh yeah, it does. Oh look,
Yeah.
answer my own question. There you go. That's pretty.
That's going to give your kids nightmares.
No, they've watched this arc in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. They know what it is.
Right. At the same time, though, knowing the arc and sitting opposite that thing at dinner and having it looking at you.
Why would it be at the dinner?
Because it's you, Kevin.
Well, oh yeah, it says the guy who brought Galactus to our lunch one day.
Exactly.
Yeah, Win or Lose. That's the one I kind of wanted.
Yeah, that line also had the Bill Foster giant man. Well, he's called Goliath, right? Or Black Goliath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting to pick up this Skrull 2-pack here.
Yeah.
And I have some army builders.
Are you going to pick up that 2-pack?
Yes.
You're just waiting for.
There are some things that are priorities right now.
Yeah.
Again, I have New York Comic Con coming up, and that's going to take a lot of money. Luckily, this ends after Comic Con, so
They said it's going to be there. Yeah.
Is it? I'll take some photos.
Maybe I got that impression. I don't know if anyone else. If you tell me in the chat, did you get the impression they're going to be bringing the prototype to display at New York Comic Con?
I didn't. So I was looking.
Or did they just say
the exhibitors
going
list.
To be there?
I didn't see the. I looked through the exhibitors list and I did not see Hasbro. I don't think I saw Marvel.
Right. Well,
right.
I got the impression. That I think it was Jesse.
Yeah.
And
right there.
That this is gonna. that this will be on display there.
I might have missed that.
Check it out. So if you go, do me a favor. Would you take a selfie with it if you can?
I'll just take a regular photo of it, taking a selfie of it. No, it's fine.
I don't like the smiling.
I like the team photo. I like his thumbs up, like he's got his trophy. Yeah. You just got that Hawkeye, right?
Yeah, he's too hard to see. He's behind my chair, but he's back there. I do have him. It's good. I'm very happy with it. I love the blue. Is I didn't expect to like the color as much, but I love the way he looks.
Oh, Win or Lose has a good point. I do want to see where the seam line goes for the faceplate. Yes.
And
That
it's going to be really interesting when they do like follow up videos where they will show us how to, you know, take those pieces apart. It'll be
mhm.
really, really cool to see. I'm looking forward to it.
Jason S says, I believe the Engine of Vengeance was at the Marvel booth at New York Comic Con last year, not Hasbro. Okay. That might make sense since Hasbro doesn't have anything listed on exhibitors, but it's still over a month away. There's Hasbro PulseCon coming up. There's New York Toy Fair the week before New York Comic Con. So a lot of opportunities for this if they have, if they're displaying it at any of these shows. Thumbs
Just
up.
the idea that he's sitting there smiling while everyone else is serious faced makes me laugh. Like no one else gets a smiling head.
Yeah.
There isn't like a happy Thor and happy Cap and
Is he
happy Black
posing?
Widow.
Is someone saying, is like Wasp saying, hey, cheese? And
Right.
because she's the one, she's missing from there. She's the one holding the camera.
Yeah. There are other Wasp figures they could include, but there's none that work as well as all these ones do, that fit in with the new body types and the bucks. So it's a very, to me, it's a glaring omission not having her there.
Yeah, and I think I understand when people are like, oh, why, there should be one with the sets, but
Yeah. Yeah,
again,
she's just really,
there's
really
the
tiny,
age old.
Jason S says. Yeah. Or she's the one taking the picture, like you said. But Hank Pym is one of those interesting characters that like doesn't have a clear personality from day one. Like there's a lot of the characters back in the 60s, they're all just like do-gooders.
Right.
They have their idiosyncrasies, like their flaws, because they're Marvel style. But they kind of don't have distinct personalities until other writers get hold of them, sometimes even more than a decade later. But Hank seems like just we rewrite how he's portrayed all the time, like how he was back then, because they do the storyline where he smacks Jan around,
Right.
and that becomes now like that. You throw things at the wall to see what sticks. That one really stuck. Just like Iron Man, Demon in a Bottle, like that he's a drinking issue.
Right.
So like those things, they come up in different iterations. Like if you push those guys too far, they're going to have certain problems. So Hank has some anger management issues, and it's like flavored every portrayal of him since, which I think is interesting.
So they mentioned the photographer for these shooting the Galaxy. I believe they said his name was Matt. His dioramas and the buildings. I want to know what's going on with these. How did he get? Where did these awesome buildings come from? Because it looks like just this playground I want to play in. It looks so much like there's depth. Like you can kind of see it's coming around the corner. Like there's around the corner in the background on the street. Like this is spectacular stuff.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder if certain parts of it are digital, like background?
I don't know.
Yeah,
The buildings look physical, maybe like green screen for the, like the volume,
right?
Something like that.
Sure.
But hey, this is available to pre-order now on Hasbro Pulse, $199 USD. And yeah, Jason, this is your first Haslab, right?
I haven't done it yet, so I don't want to make statements that I can't back up. It's my agenda. It's my plan.
People will definitely come for you if you don't keep your word.
Well, I'm not making it my word. It is my plan. There are obviously some moves I need to make. If I sell some, get some extra commissions, it makes it easier. Those kinds of things, like it. Yeah, I'm planning to get this. That's my plan. Yeah, I'll go large.
Oh, Jarhead says go large. Perfect. Let me see. I'm gonna go through some of the Instagram comments real quick.
Oh, good.
Hello there. Hello there, Toy says, looks great, price is good, debating on it though, don't really need a giant man, but maybe I do. Dope, dope, dope. Yoko says, I really thought it was going to be Shower Bucky. Yeah, from that silhouette that they showed in the teaser, Yoko, definitely could have been Shower Bucky without the towel. 796 says, no cap, I'm buying. I hate him so much. Looks great and price point ain't bad at all. Backed it so fast. Figureheads photography, bought it. Stills Music says, gives us a thumbs down. Ways of the Sith says nope. That regular face gives me Dexter vibes without the mask. I kind of see what you're saying. Hat Switch Studio says dope, but nope, nothing against the project. Classic Avengers just aren't my focus. There's only so much room for big items and only so much money to go around for toys, at least for me anyway. So, that's cool. But yeah, I think it's pretty positive in what I can see from my comments. There's a couple who aren't into it, which is like, it seems like 70-30 dope to nope.
Yeah. I think part of the reaction is that it isn't a step up from what's come before. It like, you get your Sentinel, which is the first time doing something like that, and it's incredible. And then like Galactus is a whole nother step up from that.
Right.
And it was so impressive. And that the color scheme is just super impressive.
Yeah.
And it's a modern take on Galactus. And it lights up and like it's really, really impressive. And really expensive.
Yes.
And then this one is like, we're going to dial it back. So our reaction is dialed back too. This is $200 impressive.
Yes.
As opposed to, the
$1 to, return value.
And there's no sizzle with this one. It's a down the middle, regular figure big.
What was that sentence?
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
It doesn't light up. He doesn't talk. He doesn't transform. Like we've seen so many really spectacular innovations and things that like knock us over.
Yeah.
And this one is
like, this is what you're getting. Let's get it done. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Understood.
Which is fair.
I get the analogy.
Totally fair.
Yeah. For that price point. Exactly. I gotta wait till later on. Ruckus, good to see you, but I've got some expenses at the moment. But it does seem like they're, from what I can see, like I'd say 70-30 is a good estimation of the dopes to nopes in the comments, which is cool, as opposed to the live stream chat. There's some craziness going on there. But yeah, I think that's about it. That's, again, like you said, that's the project. I think the chat kind of let us know what they're into, what they're not. You are into this project. Again, I really like it, but I got to wait a little bit. But I really do like the addition of the scroll. I'm looking for where my scrolls are. Where my scrolls at? Where my scrolls at? Yeah, I think there were some people who were holding their breath in terms of what the price point was going to be. So I think in that department, they checked that box for those people who are looking for a little price break. High School Creations might have been working secretly for Hasbro. Were those all Wall XDs? That would have been great. That would have been great. Okay, I think I want to wrap it up. Lunch break is almost over. I have some leftovers to go heat up. Yes.
I'm excited. That sounds amazing.
Leftovers. Yeah, nothing's better than leftovers. Here on the channel, last night we did the Enablers live stream. Next Thursday, I'll be talking to Blake from Toy Collector Magazine. On the 21st, the gang from Toy Anxiety will be here. And on the 28th, from Mondo Toys, Attack Peter and Hector. They're going to be coming to talk about some toys. So everyone stay tuned to the channel. If you're new here today for the first time, feel free to subscribe. And you don't want to miss these upcoming streams every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. And of course, I recently just launched a Patreon to support the content that's being made on here. Like, for example, going to SDCC, getting coverage and things like that on the channel, on Instagram, and New York Comic Con coming up. So all this goes towards just creating more stuff for the channel and ultimately for people here to enjoy. So thank you so much for, you know, everyone who's been a channel member backing here, supporting stuff on YouTube, and everyone who's currently over on Patreon right now. It's patreon.com/toyingaround. This is the wall of butter for the patrons. We have Tyler, Michael, Jay, Michael H, Quinn, Tommy, Dave, Matt Logic 44, Yoko, Mario, Ria, Toy Farce, Dario, Winger, Lose, Dom, Des Ari fan is John, Alexander, John Edwards, Sam, Kayla, and Corey. Thank you all so much. This is you know, a new territory for the channel, but it's, you know, we're gonna keep grinding it out. Some of the channel members have been over 2 years on YouTube, so it's, you know, this has been quite an awesome journey. Jason, what have you got going on?
Oh man, lots of shows coming up in the next couple months, but you can follow me on Instagram at Jason Lapidus Art, or follow the comic that I co-create with my collaborator. It's called Group of 7 Comics, and we're up to issue 8. I'm working on issue 9 right now, and we got new stuff coming out all the time. That's you can follow us on Instagram at Group of 7 Comics, and it was the number 7, or you can head to our website, which is group7comics.ca. And I got new prints coming out all the time, new comics, new images. Hit me up for you know, what do you call them? These things.
You
got blank covers. I'm doing a Captain America. The underdrawing is on my board as we speak. Doing lots of commissions, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah,
hell yeah,
hit me up. I didn't draw that. That's Walter.
I know. I just wanted to see what this is about.
I love off-brand Star Wars stuff.
This you did.
Yeah, and I have another one, a more modern one that I'm doing right now. Hold on. The line art for it.
Yeah, Jason's Instagram link is in the video description below, so if you guys are interested, please go follow. And if you need some prints, it's really great stuff.
And if you're into X-Men, I do an X-Men read through live stream every Tuesday night called Previously in X-Men, where we read through chronologically the classic X-Men comics. And we're up to issue 173 at the moment. It's tons of fun. We get to do all the voices and play around and sort of deconstruct some of those comics from that era, which is why I'm moving from the John Byrne X-Men into the Paul Smith, you know, adding in Rogue, adding in Storm with her Mohawk. So I get to do some new promo art for that. So we'll be coloring that one soon and getting prints of that one, which is lots of fun to do. Always cool. Something going on. Yeah.
Well,
Jeff, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for hanging out. I always, you know, appreciate your knowledge and just our banter back and forth. It's a lot of fun. Everyone in the chat, you can drink the water now. I didn't have anything else to. Everyone in the chat, thank you for being here. And it's like, thank you. This is great, and stay tuned to the channel for more what I think is fun toy content. Have a great rest of your day and keep toying around. Peace. I don't have a song. What's a song that has the word giant in it?
Oh my god!
Come on, you're a song guy.
I am a song guy.
Times the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking.
I got no song with the word giant. I think you're right. There's never been a song with the word giant in it.
Okay, we're gonna write one offline. All right.